Hi, I'm Alison from Alison's Astrology, and I'm here to talk to you about the week that begins Sunday, the 13th of October. So we've had Jupiter stationing in Gemini, and maybe something that you were hoping for failed to materialize as Jupiter turned retrograde. Of course, everything happens for a reason, and Jupiter is always about meaning. And in Gemini, it's the meaning of words, the meaning of communications. So maybe that didn't work out quite as you hoped. But maybe in the end, we weren't quite ready to take the leap of faith that it signified, and we need to explore our options just a bit more. So we're going to be doing that over the next few months. And meanwhile, of course, Pluto's turned direct. And that happened on Saturday, early in the morning. And this may signify for you, as it has for me actually, that the mood's changed and some of the pressures may be lifted a little bit. So Pluto's now inching back through those last 22 minutes of Capricorn. And it arrives in, I've said this before, but it's important, it arrives in Aquarius on the 19th of November. So we're beginning now to see how things are going to be. Capricorn is all about those structures which contain us, physical and social. Even people can be structures too, providing the sort of background and fabric for our lives. And maybe it's not really playing out as we'd hoped for. Maybe the future that we had envisaged isn't going to happen. But now, as Pluto, Lord of the underworld, of transformation, of power, sort of moves forward again, we're beginning to see how it's got to be. And, you know, the whole point of us being here is to evolve, to grow and to evolve. And that might mean letting some things go as well, things that we'd hoped for, things that we thought were going to happen as we step forward into this new Aquarian age. And to help us with the kind of the mental clear out, Pluto's great for clearing out. Mercury makes a challenging aspect of Pluto on Sunday. And that's kind of maybe suggesting power struggles or even a last ditch attempt at negotiating something before Mercury finally moves into Scorpio on Sunday evening. And once it's in Scorpio, Mercury, our planet of communication, that really won't care what anyone thinks, you know? It's going to be trying to dig down and get under the surface of everything and work out what's really happening. And then maybe news comes to light or news stories as it goes into Scorpio and makes that challenge to Pluto as well. So with Mercury in Scorpio and Venus is already there, basically we're probably feeling like we're not to be messed with anymore. You know, Scorpio is honest and direct. It takes no prisoners. So maybe think about House, you know, the series House MD with Hugh Laurie. Super sensitive and deeply emotional, but using that scathing honesty as a defense. That's Scorpio all over. So I think that's probably how we're feeling. And then on Monday and Tuesday, the 13th and 14th, the planets kind of combine into a difficult T-square, a cardinal T-square, involving the Sun and Mars and Chiron. And with Chiron in Aries, that's all about going forward, about powering forward. So with Chiron there, that's kind of where we might feel that we can't operate as we'd like to. So we might be feeling powerless then and unable to defend ourselves, whilst with Mars in Cancer, you know, something that we really love and value, family, tribe, home, might be threatened. It rouses our protective instincts here. And this is going to be especially important if you've got planets or angles around 21 degrees of the cardinal signs. That's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And it could even be emotionally painful. But the upside is a creative aspect between the Sun and Jupiter, which does suggest discussion and at least a sense of meaning that might help to ride out the difficulties that you're facing or that we're all facing. So as Wednesday comes, Wednesday the 15th, Venus opposes Uranus. That's suggesting maybe some sudden changes in relationships or a situation. and then it's followed by a grand trine in the water signs. So that's Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. And we've got Venus, Neptune, and Mars kind of combining there. And that looks really creative and imaginative, maybe even spiritual, actually. And at the moment, the outer planets, that's Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are all around 27 degrees of the signs that they're in. So Taurus, Neptune, and Capricorn. And they're forming a mini grand trine. And this kind of configuration with the outer planets is actually set to last for several years because they're kind of moving forward together, peaking actually in June 2027. And this actually seems positive, just generally positive. And it's an unusual set of planetary alignments. So this is just something to be watched. It's happening at the moment and it's kind of ongoing. So I think a background of meaningfulness, if you like. And this week culminates with a full moon at 24 degrees of Aries at Thursday lunchtime in Europe. Now, full moons are culminations of cycles, and they're also about releasing stuff that's no longer serving you. It could be a difficult one, it could be an emotional one, because it's challenged by Mars and Pluto. With the Aries moon, they're in fighting mode, it's on a quest, it's ready to defend whatever it needs to defend. And the sun trying to find balance and justice in Libra. Mars is clinging to what it knows and loves, while Pluto forces change. So this might play out on a global scale because that full moon is actually happening across the Israeli national chart ascendant-descendant axis. But it'll also play out on a micro level in our own lives, especially if you've got planets around 24 degrees of any of those cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. So try and find some stability at this time, find things that keep you grounded and just be ready to let go of anything that you need to let go of, that you need to let go of, that you've maybe been hanging on to. Full moons are about release here. Think about release. And whatever fight plays out on the global stage, we're going to need emotional honesty to move forward. There could be money issues, perhaps, as Venus is in Scorpio, and the idea of shared money, shared values, where we thought we had an understanding, but maybe that's also changing. Later on Thursday evening, Venus escapes into Sagittarius, and there's more of a sense of freedom in our relationships, a sense of release, and a renewed sense perhaps of optimism as well. The tension and power of the transformation and desire to protect what we love, of that opposition between Mars and Pluto, will continue to build, but at least now our relationships, Venus is not involved. And those are the highlights of the week. So I'm looking forward to talking to you next week to discuss the week that begins the 20th. Okay, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.